Hello guys, now in today's video I want to give you some of the tips that are going to help you to establish a successful commercial banana plantation. Note the keyword commercial. Now if you want to plant bananas specifically for business, this video is going to be here for you. It's really suitable for you and you have to watch it up to the end because I'm going to share a lot about bananas. And so as you can see, I'm in the banana plantation here. I did a video when I was crying, when the winds had really broken these bananas. But there, I'm very excited because God has been really faithful. The banana plants have regrown. The coffee has stabilized. As you can see in my background, everything looks green, and this is really very good. And also, if you're watching me for the very first time, my name is Asperia, a very passionate farmer. I grow plants, I grow vegetables, I grow bananas, and I establish those gardens for other people. I don't do it for myself alone. I also extended the services to other people who would really want to invest in farming. And so this is going to be a very good channel for you. Subscribe and like this video. And now, if you want to establish a commercial banana plantation, I know at the back of your mind you have something like investment. I have invested my money. I really want my money back. So that means you're doing a business. And so if you want to grow bananas successfully, there are a lot of things that you need to consider. And the very first one is the site selection, like where you are going to plant the bananas. So under site selection, we are going to look at the climate of that area. We are going to look at the soil of that area, and we are also going to look at the variety that does better in that particular area, and that is, preferable for your market around your community or around your target customers. And so, very first one, you need to look at climate. What is the air? How is the climate? Is it a dry place? I mean, is it a place where it is always hot, or is it a place where it is always cool? Now, bananas thrive in a climate which is warm. They want a warm temperature. They do not want it to be too hot. They do not want it to be too cold. They want, that one that is really moderate. So when you look at the place where you're going to set your banana plantation, what is the temperature? Has it been raining for a long time? And also you look at the soil. What is the nature of the soil? Is it loam soil? Is it well drained? It must be very good soil that is well drained, because bananas do not thrive in waterlogged places or in sandy soils, because they really need a place they really need soil that is going to be cool and at the same time good for them to grow. So look at the three things. Look at the climate, look at the soil, and then look at also the variety of the bananas that you want to plant. Do you want to plant the green bananas? Like you see in my background, I have planted these bananas. We've intercropped them with coffee. I will do a video about intercropping with coffee. We've intercropped them with coffee, but you can do a banana plantation when you haven't intercropped it with anything, and it still grows very well. Depends on what you want. And also look at the varieties. If you look at the varieties that I have in my plantation, they are the varieties that are grown commonly around my area here. And I have seen that most people who buy, they really love the varieties because they are big in size. They are somehow tolerant when it comes to the sun. They are resistant to disease. So when you are choosing to do a banana plantation, you have to consider a lot of things. Look at the climate changes. Do you think you can manage? Do you have any plans for irrigation in case drought hits? Do you have any plans for drainage in case the soil, does not drain the soil properly? If you find that maybe the soil is not good at draining, then you can plan on putting the drainage lines or the trenches to minimize waterlogging. Before you even plant the bananas, to make sure you place really good and comfortable for the banana plantation. So after looking at the land, after looking at the weather, after looking at the soil texture, the next thing is going to be land preparation. Now, land preparation involves you slashing, plowing, and organizing the land where you are going to set up your banana plantation. Now, bananas are very good plants, but they need tender care. You will not just go and plant your bananas in the bush, just like the way people plant trees. No, bananas, you need to prepare the land. You need to plow it. If it is, a land that has not been in use, you need to use tractors to plow it to make sure it is soft and suitable for the young suckers that you are yet to plant. So after digging and slashing, you need also to look at digging the holes. Now, the holes that you're going to dig for these bananas, you're not just going to dig holes like the ones we plant maize. These holes are going to be measured. You need to measure, you need to be watchful of the spacing that you're going to space your bananas, and you also need to look at the depth of the holes that you're going to use, because in this hole, we are going to put manure. We are going to plant there. So we need a hole that is going to be really enough to accommodate the farmyard manure and the good soil that we are going to dig. And then the reason why we need to dig it a little bit deeper, like 2 feet long, we need to create that space where we can put the good soil. Now, when I do plant bananas, what I do, I dig the holes. We dig the holes and we make them 2 by 3. That means 2 feet length and the width is 3 feet. And so the purpose is that when I remove, because as you dig, you find that the topsoil that is loam, you remove it, and as you go deeper, the soil that is deep is not really clean and it is not even loam. In some areas, we find that it is brown in color, and that does not support plant growth. It is not really fertile. So what we do, we remove the topsoil, we put it aside, and we dig the holes. And so when we get the farmyard manure, we mix it with the topsoil that we have put aside, and then we refill the hole again. And this means when we plant our banana, the sucker is going to be thriving in very good loam soil full of organic content. So make sure you look at the spacing, and also the spacing from one hole to another. The recommended set space is supposed to be 3 feet. 3 meters by 3 meters. That is an approximate of 10 feet by 10. Also, some people do 4 feet by 4, depending on the variety of the bananas that you're going to plant, the nature of the soil, the fertility of the soil, but at least it shouldn't be less than 3, because these bananas, as you plant them, they are going to grow, they are going to produce the other suckers. So they really need enough space for them to thrive. So look at the spacing as key in growing a banana plantation. And also after the spacing, we look at if you really want to intercrop it with coffee or other things, then you need also to check the spacing. The spacing differs depending on what you want to do. If you really want your banana plantation to thrive, then you got to be orderly. You need to plan, you need to dig the holes in lines, so that your banana plantation looks beautiful and neat. And also, bananas also, they are also not easy when it comes to wind. They are really, really vulnerable to wind. So if possible, you can have some windbreakers, like planting around trees somewhere, for not in the middle of the plantation, just like we see coffee needs shade. Bananas do not need shade, but at least you can have, windbreakers, whereby in case wind is too much, they can really calm it down. Like recently, wind came in my garden because I really didn't have enough trees around. Everything went down. And also plan on how you're going to stake your bananas in case they grow. So you have to have, those other plants, but that's not really so emergency. You can, do these other basic things, and then your banana plantation is set. So after you have prepared your land, you have dug the holes, now we are going into the planting phase. Now for the planting phase, you need to get suckers. Now, so many people, they really amuse me when we go to establish gardens for them, and then you go with the sod suckers, the suckers that are really young. I'm going to show you how they look. So when you get these suckers, they must be young. They must be young and really healthy so that you know that these suckers are going to thrive. And so you organize these suckers. Now, when we uproot the suckers, they come with the roots and the soil from the mother plant and from where they have been. And so we are supposed to trim all those roots aside, and then you trim very well, and then you chop it at least to, as you make it to be like maybe 2 feet, in length. It should be very, very short so that when you put it in the hole, you can't even be able to see it. But many people grow, they want to plant long, long plants so that they grow very fast. But that is not healthy. When you want to plant a commercial banana plantation, you have to use young plants, young suckers, so that they can grow healthy, just like any other crops. When you're taking the seedlings from the nursery bed, you don't take mature seedlings. You take seedlings that are young so that when you take them to another place, they can really grow up. But when you take an established plant, it is going to go with the diseases that it has been having. It will get a lot of stress, and eventually you see it drying, or if in case it grows, it will put very, very small, very, very small fruit, and that will not be good if you are doing it on a commercial basis. So we are going to use very young suckers. I will show you how they look like. And after organizing the suckers, depending on where you have gotten the suckers, the transport, the touching, they can come with diseases. So you can get the disinfectants and then you dip these suckers in there to kill any form of bacteria or disease that it should have carried from their garden to your garden. So after dipping them in the disinfectant, and then they are ready to be planted, they are ready to start thriving. Remember, when you dig these holes, you are going to backfill the holes before you bring these suckers. So when you backfill, especially if you are using like organic farmyard manure that is not well decomposed, you can backfill and give them like a period of 4 weeks for the manure to decompose very well in the soil to avoid diseases. Because when you plant directly into the organic fresh manure, it's going to come and get the insects. And usually the insects love eating the suckers. And you see the banana is not thriving. So make sure you backfill the soil back into the holes using the top soil mixed with the farmyard manure. And then after that, you can plant your suckers. So after you have planted bananas, like any other crop, they need care, they need management. You need to make sure you prevent the weeds. That means you regularly have to weed them in case sun comes when you've just planted. But before you do that, you make sure that you target the onset of rain. When we are planting bananas, we don't just wake up and plant. You have to plan which season. There are basically 2 seasons in eastern Uganda. So if I don't plant 5 bananas in the first season, I will definitely plant in the second season. And the reason why, even when you have irrigations, because I want to plant on the onset of rain so that we can take advantage of the rain. The rains are really good because they make the plant grow very fast. Compared to irrigation, irrigation is good, but it can come as a supplement when these plants have really, really caught up. So when you have planted your bananas, make sure you manage the properly. Don't just plant and go and say, after all, I have planted, the suckers are young, I don't have. You have to make sure you manage the garden. That is what they call crop management. Make sure they are okay. You have moved around. Sometimes because of the organic manure that we put back in the holes, we find a lot of weeds or a lot of vegetables growing out and outgrowing the sucker, creating a lot of shade. So you have to be careful to weed every now and then. Make sure this banana has enough place and very comfortable environment for it to grow and thrive. And then after that, you have also to prevent the pests. Pests are there in the banana plantations. Sometimes when you move around, you find that some of them are sick. So you need to know the bananas that are sick, and then you cut them off, you burn and bury them so that you stop the spreading of diseases into the entire garden. So make sure after you have established the garden, you need to maintain it. You need to avoid weeds because weeds, they outcompete with the bananas. They eat the nutrients that would be for the bananas, and also maybe after you have planted and then you realize that the soils are not really draining the water really well, You can as well continue to create drainage as long as it will be comfortable for your plants. And also, what I forgot in the first place, as you're doing the soil preparation, you can do the testing. You can do soil analysis. You check the nutrients in the soil, what is lacking, what is excess, and the soil pH, the soil acidity, and then you can be able to see how you can do soil amendments, how you can change, how you can, support a plant growth. So if you are doing these things, make sure you do follow these principles that I have shared. We have followed them and we have established our banana plantations. At our place, we have very good banana plantations and extensions of banana gardens and coffee in the village. And also we have successfully established for other people banana plantations that are thriving. So if you have your money and you have your land and you feel like you want to invest but you don't have what to invest in, please, bananas could be a game changer for you. And if you want someone technical support, we are here to help you. You can text me or you can call me on my number. I'll be right at your service. I'll be taking you to some of the banana plantations that I have established, and you'll be seeing how they're thriving. And I believe that is going to be an encouragement for you, and it will help you in making informed decisions, especially on investment. I believe you found this video very helpful. If that is so, please click subscribe, join this channel. You can support me in any way and we thrive. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day. Bye bye.